The basement.
Lily had always been afraid of the dark. As a child, she would run from room to room, turning on all the lights, making sure that there were no shadows lurking in the corners. But no matter how hard she tried, Emily couldn't shake that feeling that something was always watching her. When Emily and her husband moved into their new house, she was thrilled to have a space of her own. But as soon as she saw the door to the basement, she felt a shiver run down her spine. Despite her fear, Emily knew she had to face her demons. She opened the door and descended the stairs. The basement was dark and damp, with an unsettling chill in the air. Emily felt like she was being watched, like there was something lurking in the shadows, but she pushed on, determined to conquer her fears. As she made her way through the basement, Emily heard a strange noise. It was a scraping sound, like something was dragging across the floor. She followed the sound, her heart racing with fear. In the corner of the basement, Emily found a small trapdoor. She opened it, and her worst fears were realized. There was a small hidden room beneath the basement, filled with old furniture and boxes. But that wasn't the worst part. There was a figure in the room, a man with wild eyes and a twisted grin. He had been living in the hidden room, watching Emily and her husband for weeks. Emily tried to run, but the man was too fast. He chased her through the basement, his footsteps echoing off the walls. Emily was trapped, with nowhere to run. As the man closed in on her, Emily realized the truth. She'd never been afraid of the dark. She'd been afraid of the monsters that lived within it. Now, she was face to face with one of them. The man lunged at her, his hands outstretched. Emily screamed, and the darkness swallowed her whole.
The doll maker.
There was a small town nestled in the mountains, where the people lived simple lives, looked out for one another. But one day, a new resident arrived. He was a quiet man with a particular talent for making dolls. The townspeople were intrigued by the doll maker's work, and soon the dolls were in high demand. They were beautiful, with intricate details and lifelike features, but as the doll maker's fame grew, so did the rumors. People whispered that the dolls were more than just toys, that they held a strange power over those who owned them. They said the doll maker himself was possessed by dark forces, and that he used his dolls to spread his influence. The townspeople tried to ignore the rumors, but they couldn't deny the strange occurrences that had began to happen. Dolls would move on their own, with glass eyes following people around the room. Children claimed that their dolls spoke to them in their dreams, whispering secrets that they couldn't remember in the morning. One day, a woman came to the doll maker's shop, begging him to make her a doll that looked like her deceased daughter. The doll maker obliged, creating a doll that was so lifelike. It was almost as if the girl had come back to life. But soon, the woman realized that the doll was not a replacement for her daughter. It was something far more sinister. The doll began to speak, telling the woman terrible things about her own past. It would move on its own, its porcelain hands reaching out to grab her. The woman tried to destroy the doll, but it was too late. The doll maker had already spread his influence throughout the town, and now the dolls were coming back to life, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. The townspeople tried to fight back, but they were no match for the doll maker's power. They were consumed by their own fears, their minds twisted and broken by the dolls that had once brought them joy. In the end, the doll maker was the only one left. He sat in his shop, surrounded by his creations, watching as the town crumbled around him. He had won, but he was not satisfied. He knew there were other towns, other people who could fall under his sway. And so, Dollmaker packed up his things, set out on the road, ready to spread his dark influence to the world beyond. The old house on the outskirts of town. The old house on the outskirts of town had always been rumored to be haunted. People said that strange things happened there at night, and that the ghost of a little girl could be seen wandering the halls. When a group of teenagers decided to break in one night, they thought it would be a fun adventure. But as soon as they stepped inside, they knew they had made a mistake. The air was thick with a musty odor, and the floorboards creaked with every step. As they made their way through the darkened halls, they heard a child's laughter echoing in the distance. They followed the sound, their flashlights shaking in their hands, till they came to a door that was locked tight. One of the boys forced open the door, and they found themselves in a small, dimly lit room. In the corner of the room was a small, dusty dollhouse. On the floor beside it was a tiny, hand-carved coffin. As they looked closer, they saw the coffin contained a tiny doll, with a face that was twisted in an expression of agony. And then they heard the little girl's voice whispering in their ears, telling them that she'd been trapped in that doll for centuries, waiting for someone to set her free. The teenagers ran for the door, but it wouldn't budge. They were trapped, alone in the dark, with the ghost of the little girl. The dollhouse began to shake. The dolls inside began to move on their own. The teenagers screamed and tried to escape, but it was too late. They were never seen again, and the old house on the outskirts of town remained haunted for years to come. And if you listen closely on a quiet night, you can still hear the ghostly laughter of the little girl trapped forever in her tiny doll. The painting. There was an old painting in the attic of an old mansion, hidden away behind cobwebs and dust. The painting depicted a woman with long black hair and a sly smile, her eyes staring out from the canvas with a cold, menacing gaze. No one knew who the woman was, but there was something about the painting that made people uneasy. Some said they could hear whispers coming from the canvas at night, while others claimed that they saw the woman's eyes follow them as they moved around the room. One day, a young couple moved into the mansion, unaware of the painting's dark history. They found the painting in the attic and hung it in the living room, not realizing the danger they were bringing into their home. At first, nothing seemed out of the ordinary, but then strange things started to happen. The couple would wake up in the middle of the night, feeling like they were being watched. They heard whispers and footsteps, even when they were alone in the house. And then, the woman in the painting began to move. At first it was a small shift, a change in her expression that seemed to make her even more malevolent. But soon, the couple noticed that the painting was changing before their eyes. The woman's hair grew longer, her eyes grew brighter, and her smile became even more twisted. The couple tried to remove the painting from the wall, but it wouldn't budge. It was as if the couple tried to remove the painting from the wall, but it wouldn't budge. It was as if it was a part of the wall itself, stuck there, forever. As the days went on, the woman in the painting became more and more powerful. She would speak to the couple in their dreams, telling them of terrible things of their past and their futures. She would move around the room, her eyes following them as they tried to escape her gaze. Finally, the couple knew that they had to get rid of the painting once and for all. They decided to burn it, hoping it would destroy the woman's hold on their home. But when they tried to light the match, something strange happened. The painting began to move again, this time with a purpose. The woman's hand reached out of the canvas and grabbed the couple, pulling them into the painting and into her world of darkness. No one ever found the couple or the painting again. The mansion was left abandoned, a reminder of the horrors that lay hidden within its walls. And somewhere, in the darkness of the painting, the woman with the sly smile waited for her next victim. The Shadow in the Corner. As a child, Lily always had a fear of the dark. Even as an adult, she couldn't shake that feeling that something was lurking in the shadows. But she tried to convince herself that it was just her imagination, that the things she saw were just a trick of the light. One night, as Lily lay in bed, she saw a shadow in the corner of the room. At first, she thought it was just a trick of the light, but the longer she looked, the more it seemed to take shape. The shadow was humanoid, with long, spindly arms and legs. Its eyes were piercing yellow, staring directly at Lily, with a hunger that made her skin crawl. She tried to move, but she was paralyzed with fear. The shadow began to move closer towards her, its footsteps silent as it crept closer and closer. Lily tried to scream, but her voice caught in her throat. Just as the shadow was about to reach her, Lily woke up, drenched in sweat. She tried to tell herself that it was just a nightmare, but the fear stayed with her all day. That night, as Lily lay in her bed again, she saw the shadow in the corner of the room once more. This time, it was closer, its eyes glowing brighter as it stared at her. Lily tried to scream again, but no sound came out. She was trapped, alone with the shadow in the darkness. As the shadow moved closer, Lily closed her eyes and prayed for them to go. Nope. As the shadow moved closer, Lily closed her eyes and prayed for it to go away. But when she opened them again, the shadow was gone. Lily never saw the shadow again, but she could feel its presence, lurking in the darkness, waiting for its next victim. And from that night on, she always kept a light on in her room, knowing that the darkness held terrors that she could never fully understand.
Hey, thanks for making it to the end slate. I've got some pretty good feedback and seem to do pretty well with the previous video that I made, so I thought I'd make a part 2. Again, thanks for everyone for watching that. Leave a like if you did actually enjoy it. It really helps me out, gets the dopamine running. And I will catch you guys next time. Thanks.